Welcome to Durham College's Student Academic Learning Services video on solutions and tonicity. By the end of this video, learners will be able to define the parts of a solution, compare solution concentrations qualitatively, describe the effects on cells when placed in solutions of different concentrations, and explain why cellular changes occur when cells are placed in solutions of various concentrations. All solutions are made up of two parts: the solvent, which is the part that dissolves the solute, and then the solute, the part that is dissolved in the solution. Therefore, the solution is the combination of the solvent and the solute. To look at an example of this, let's pretend like we have a container that we then fill with a solvent, in this case water. We can then add a solute, dissolving ions or sugar or protein into the water. We now have a solution. If we were to add more solute, then we would have a solution of higher concentration. If we were to remove some of the solute, we would have a solution with lower concentration. Now we can compare solution concentrations. Here we have a container with a solution in it, and inside that container we have a cell. However, there are two solutions to consider here. Solution 1 is outside of the cell, and solution 2 is inside of the cell. These two solutions may be equal to each other or different from each other. In biology, there are specific terms used in order to describe the relationship between these two solutions. The first is isotonic, which means that the solutions are of the same concentration. Hypertonic means that one of the solution's concentrations is excessive or high relative to the other solution. Hypotonic means that one of the solution's concentrations is less or low relative to the other solution. As was just mentioned, isotonic solutions are two solutions that have equal concentration. In this example, there's the same concentration of solute per amount of solvent. What will happen naturally is that water will move outside of the cell and inside of the cell. But the net overall movement is that there's none. Two waters moved into the cell and two waters moved out in this example. Therefore, there were no changes with the cell. An isotonic solution, therefore, is the solutions are the same concentration. The water concentration is the same inside and outside the cell, and the water will move in and out of the cell equally. What will happen to the cell is really nothing. In a hypertonic situation, there is a high concentration of solute, and in this example, outside of the cell. Therefore, there's more water in the cell than outside of the cell, and the net overall movement of water will be out of the cell. And as you might have noticed, the cell shrunk in size. Hypertonic means excessive or high concentration in one solution relative to the other. Water concentration is low outside and high inside. The water will move out of the cell, and the cell will shrivel. Finally, we can look at hypotonic. In this case, there's lots of water outside of the cell relative to inside of the cell. Water will move into the cell, and the cell will expand. The net overall movement into the cell. So hypotonic means below or low concentration in one solution relative to the other. The water concentration is high outside and low inside the cell. The water will move into the cell, and the cell will expand and potentially burst. We have now completed the table, and we can compare hypotonic to hypertonic and to isotonic solutions. Now that you've watched this video, you should be able to define the parts of a solution, compare solution concentrations qualitatively, describe the effects on cells when placed in solutions of different concentrations, and explain why cellular changes occur when cells are placed in solutions of various concentrations. Are you still confused? Do you have more questions? Please feel free to contact us to make an appointment with a SALS science specialist. You can reach us by phone at 905-721-2000, extension 2491, or by email at sals@durhamcollege.ca. Please help us gather feedback to improve the service we provide in student academic learning services. If you're viewing this presentation online, please email us any suggestions you have to improve the experience at sals@durhamcollege.ca.